Facebook.
We're live now.
And we are live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So how does it get any better than this? Hey, hello everybody. And on Instagram,
Moving a little bit.
I hope you guys can hear us clearly. And if you do not, please let us know.
Write it in the comments.
Hmm.
So I invited Troy. Can you hear us, Ramadan? Just let us know. I invited Troy to have a conversation with me about a class that I facilitate, which is called the Grand Design. And so the Grand Design is where you allocate yourself like 3 hours and you take a look at where you are in your living and you take a look at what you would like to ask for, what you would like to change that would make you enthusiastic for living.
Yeah. And actually we name this class like going beyond the messed reality. My apologies, creating messed reality and having the reality of ask and receive. So would you like to
creating, let me repeat this, out creating the messed reality and having the reality of ask and receive with total ease. Okay.
Yeah. So would you like to talk about what is that?
Yeah, sure. So Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, has been talking about this for years, something called the messed reality. And it's where you actually create from this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, and where you create from limitation. Let's say, give me something that you would like to have, or you've created in the last few years that you...
Becoming a 3-day body class facilitator.
Okay, so Troy would love to become a 3-day body facilitator. So the messed reality would look at, the space would be, he needs venues for 60 classes, okay? And then it's going to take, that would be the space. Then the time would be, well, it's going to take this amount of time. And then the energy would be like, this is the amount of energy that it's going to take. And then the matter would be, the way that it would show up would be dependent on all the points of views around the space, the time, the energy it would take to actually create this. That would be messed reality with all do's and don'ts. Whereas the reality of converging with consciousness, which is this class is all about introducing you to convergence of possibilities with consciousness, is you're using energy, infinite ways that the universe has available to you. So it's not something that begins with you, it's something that you're part of. And so it's the way the energy, the space, and the consciousness of the universe works with the prima material of matter to bring things to actualization. And so it's the energy that created the planets. It's the energy that created magnetics, It's the energy that creates the sea's perfect timing. It's the energy of consciousness, which makes everything greater. And so when you have the point of view that you're not part of consciousness, that you're separate, that your body is separate from an infinite universe, then you cannot utilize this energy to ask for what you would like. So coming out of the messed reality is coming out of, this is how much time it's going to take. This is how much energy it's going to take. So it's coming out of all these conclusions, coming out of the mind, coming out of right, wrong, judgment, conclusion, and coming into, well, what would it take to have 60 classes with Ease, Joy, and Glory? Mm-hmm. What would it take for the venues to show up with Ease, Joy, and Glory?
And actually, even with the other thing, like when you look at from the messed reality, like how many of you would go, oh, like this is, I have to create this. I have to put all of this in place. And like so far, like with the use of the tools of Access Consciousness, like all the classes that I have created, like I think it's like, normally, I have to complete 60 body process classes with 6 paying participants each. I created 15 of them so far, and each of them being created by my willingness to receive from all the people that is willing to contribute to me. And that's including the participants as well. And one of the things that most of us have been taught, like, you have to do it all by yourself, you have to work very hard, you have to, what else?
Force it.
You have to force it. Exactly. You have to force it. Like, it have to be hard, and you have to like feel that. And that's one of the places that most of us have been bought, that we have to, learned and bought that we have to function from. And at the same time, like, for how many of you that is not working?
True.
Like,
are true.
Yeah, and it's true. And I get that is where like the grand design comes in, like, where gives you tools and invites you to look at, like, first of all, what do you like to create? Like, what would you love to have more in your life? And when you get clear on that, like, that's one of the ways that universe works. Like, if you're not clear on what you are asking for, and I'm not talking about like
only business,
like getting clear, like, from the definition of it, going like, oh, like, I would love to have a house in this part of the world, like this specific parts. Like, I'm not talking about defining it, but when you are clear on the energy of the living that you would like to live in, then universe is like, hey, actually, if you choose this will allow you to get there quicker, faster, easier, with more joy. But when you are trying to do it from your head, and when you're trying to figure out from this reality, trying to complete all the steps, going like, oh, like, if I'm going to, example, I'm here right now, so if I want to, let's say one of your asks is like, what would it take for me to have more money? Then you go, okay, like, I'm working in this company, I'm in this position, so if I'm probably going to make more money, that means I have to work 20 years, I have to put a lot of effort, and then I can come here. And if I come there, then like, that's going to take 20 years. Instead of going, hey, universe, what would it take for me to have more money in my life? So, what is the infinite possibilities this can show up from?
So let me ask you a question. So your ask last year or the year before was to become a 3-day body facilitator.
Yeah.
And you've really had a lot of success with creating them in London.
Yeah.
So if you were in the messed reality, Troy was living in Izmir, okay? In the messed reality, would you living in the UK and creating classes in the UK have been possible? No. And so one of the things with energy, space, and consciousness, and utilizing the energy that created the universe, that creates planets, that creates the sea, that creates the tides, that creates the wonder of plants, all the animals function from energy. And so when you're functioning from those energetics, when you ask, you allow the universe to contribute you so that you know where to go. When you gain awareness, just like an animal, when the animals in the tsunami went up into the mountains because they knew there was going to be a tsunami, where you're required to be to receive the greatest. And so you'll have all these energetic awarenesses of what's required for you to choose and to follow the energy rather than come from your mind to receive that ask. And so one of the other things that I asked for on the Grand Design years ago, because I've been doing this class for quite a few years now, since 2019. And one of the things I asked for was a relationship where someone was choosing to live consciously and they were choosing to live the way that I was living. Like, my choices creating the world that I want to live in. And Troy, now I have, thanks to you, now I have this beautiful relationship where we're very different. We both have the same targets in regards to, we would love to live in a world where bodies are happy, where you actually can do what you love as your job. And so we have very similar targets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it supports each other. Like that's
makes
like,
it greater.
It actually contributes, like both of us, when us coming together, it contributes both of our lives to become more easier. It becomes more greater, and like each of us can support each other in places where we are not good at, or like the places that when the other person actually have a greater awareness of what is possible. And like even like the littlest things, I know like when we go to a restaurant, Rachel has an ability to pick the best dish there. So
on the menu, I'll always go, boom, this one, and it'll be the best dish.
So I know that when Rachel orders something, to be aware of like what she's ordering and going, oh, okay, so that could be the possibility, and not from this conclusion, but from the awareness of, okay, like actually, why do you want that? Yes. And when I go for it, it always creates greater for me too. And like what we're like, this is like one of the asks like that we have, and this is available to all of you.
Like, this is not like, oh, this is only available for Rachel O'Brien and Troy Aldermaz. This is not for the privileged. This is not like, I'm privileged, I can have this. Consciousness is for everyone who chooses it. And that's the thing that I adore about this, is that if you're out there, whatever it is that you would like to have is available to you. And if you allow consciousness in, if you're not like embarrassed about what you would like to have, for your living to be a gift. Because for me, living was not a gift 12 years ago. It was serious. I'd lost my joy. I'd lost my fun. I was living from the messed reality. And so this is where, hello to all our friends, they're coming in. So what is it that you can ask for that would allow your life, your living, to be a gift to this planet? Because it will, when you actually choose to enjoy being alive, that is a gift to the universe.
And acknowledge at the same time, like how much you are a gift already.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that most of us have been, I'm going to say, disempowered. Because how many of you have been supported to choose happiness?
Yeah.
How many of you have been supported to choose gratitude? And how many of you, like when you were this happy idiot,
we're autistic happy idiots,
that you have been told that you don't care, that you are not understanding this, or that you are slow. And like most of us have been disempowered and miseducated about our capacities and our strength. And I get that's what we would love to invite you into. So like you can come on to this creation that Rachel will be facilitating. It's going to be tomorrow. It is, I think, 3 or 2 p.m. Central European time.
Central European time, 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
For our friends in Saudi, is that 5 p.m. And our friends in Abu Dhabi, it is 6 p.m. So,
and it's going to be 3 hours, and you can come on and like be with, first of all, like, what would you like to ask? Like, are you even clear what you're asking for? And I want to point out at the same time, like, if there's something that you are asking for and it seems like it's not like showing up, it's not like happening with ease,
come a little bit more.
Like, there is a possibility that it may not be even your ask, because there were so many things that in my life that I thought that I wanted, that actually I had no desire of
or interested
in. And I was like, oh yeah, like I should be having a beautiful girlfriend. I should be having a car. I should be having a house. I should be having like an expensive watch. And I was trying to like actualize these things in my life. And it was like, I was just ending up in a place that I was constantly judging myself because I was not able to actualize that. And then with the use of the Access Consciousness, I really started to get clear on what I truly desire. Not what I think I desire, but what I truly desire. And when I did start to become clear on that, and actually I became congruent with what I was asking for, I was able to pull that so much more easier,
faster,
joyful, faster. And that's one of the things that I know like when we are clear on, energetically congruent on what we're asking for, and we're like, yes, I would love to have this, and there's this enthusiasm, it's a completely different energy.
So I warmly invite you to, as Troy said, sit down and give yourself the space and the time and give yourself permission to ask for what you require for your living to be a gift, you know. And it's so beautiful as well to have a facilitator. You know, facilitate is to render with ease, is to have someone try makes my living a lot more ease. Anytime that like I'm stuck, I've got try to ask me questions. You know, I have another few people that massively support me as well. And so I found that me getting the support that I require has been a huge contribution in me getting clear on what I would like to have.
And it's a great catalyst. It just like go like I know like when I like really like go into the person that I know that has my back and it will contribute to me, like it go like exactly. Yeah.
So come join me for the grand design. What is it that you can give yourself permission to have, permission to ask for? And what is it that you would like to receive? You know, I know for me, I had limited my receiving and limited my joy and limited my capacity to have what I would like to have due to trying to fit into other people's limitation, and that did not work for me. So if you're done with limiting your receiving, limiting your asking, and you're truly ready to allow yourself to, Gary calls it the art of living, Gary Douglas calls it the art of living. If you're truly ready to come out of survival and into living, come join me.
Mm-hmm. And I would know, like, I would say like you would know like if this is one for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, like truly what else is possible, and like what would it take for you to, I'm gonna say like be like the way you were when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey,
I want to go to the beach. I'd like to go swimming.
I would like to go to the moon. I would like to go to there. She's like, I would like to choose that. I would like to have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what would it take for you to be that?
To allow yourself to have that, not go, no, I can't have this because of, here is my limitation.
Or if I'm going to have this, like I have to work very hard. Like with kids, like they're like, can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? Whoosh. Can I have this? It doesn't matter who it is. They're like, oh, can I have this? And people are generally like, yeah, you can. Because it's joyful, because they're enthusiastic, because they ask. Yeah. So what you can ask for, that's universe is like, can you please ask this? I would love to give this to you.
Kieran said, I would love to go to the moon. Ask. Huh. And that makes me so happy. Why can't she have that? With no point of view about the time, you know, what would it take for you to have that? Yeah. So, yeah, totally. So we warmly invite you, and we warmly invite you to live your life. Is your life valuable to you? And if it is, do you allow yourself to choose what brings value to living? Beautiful. Thank you. There it is. What if this moment right now is a new beginning for living? What if every moment is a new beginning for living, where you don't have to live from your past point of view, that you can choose to be and have and receive something greater?
Yeah. And I wonder what would it look like and be like if we did live in a world that actually people did receive everything they were asking for. How much more fun that would be.
Yeah. Oh, we're in Lanzarote. That was one of my asks, to spend winters in a warmer climate. And so ask and receive actually works, folks, you know. And you got to be willing to receive it. And if you like you, and if you're willing to care for you and what you're capable of, you will have that. You will receive that. Beautiful. Love you. I see a friend of mine, Anuta's on here. Love you, my darling. And oh, hi, Mar. Love you guys. Big kisses to you. And how does it get any better than this? And what else is
truly possible?
Truly.
Everything is possible.
Bye.
Bye, Gwen.